Begin.
The Evening Brothers are proud to present.
I did it when you said
Twinkie
begin, not when you.
It's fine. I'll shift it over by half a second.
I'm
Figure it
messing. I
out.
feel like I'm messing with you.
Oh, okay. Okay, because we don't have a specific host, we all need to intro Twinkie Talk at the same time in celebration of this great podcast. Ready?
Can you count us off?
Yeah. I'll just give you a 1, 2, and then we'll breathe in, and then we'll start. Okay.
Apparently, I
that sounds good.
all right. I guess I'm ready.
Oh, that doesn't sound confident at all.
No, it's not confidence inspiring even a little bit. Okay, ready? Preston, did you hear the instructions?
Yes.
Okay. 1, 2, then we all breathe together, then we start.
Yep.
1, 2. Welcome
Everything
to
dies.
Twinkie Talk,
Things
the
end.
only podcast hosted by
sadness lives. Sadness reigns because everything dies. Nothing means anything.
Okay. See here, John. You're doing like a
futile.
joke. You're doing a silly joke thing, and we need to be showing respect for this great podcast.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, let me start again.
This is serious, John.
Give me. Can I get another take at that?
Yeah, all three of us. You ready? Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
1, 2.
Welcome
Welcome to Twinkie Talk, the only podcast where three white guys talk about bad movies.
Not again.
That was better. We're closer.
It. Is that what you were looking for? I think I maxed out my audio pretty hard on that one.
You might have.
I turned the gain up just for
I think you might have.
Or did you want to do the classic intro, Lincoln? Is that what you were thinking?
I was thinking classic intro. I'm sorry that wasn't communicated well enough.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's I forgive you. Let's give it another. Yeah, let's give it one more shot. I can do it.
Okay,
this time.
this really is the only one that we can keep doing because this is gonna get old. Okay, ready? 1.
Going to.
Preston, you haven't even spoken in the
Yes, I have.
yet, so. Okay. I didn't hear you because John's wailing then. Thank you, Preston.
Well,
Thank you for speaking.
Contributing to the wailing because that seemed.
Oh, good.
More fun than
Yay.
listening to Lincoln's instructions. So.
It is.
Okay, one more time.
All right, we can do it.
2. Welcome to Twinkie Talk, the only podcast where three white guys talk about bad movies with punishment
only one
by the Evening Brothers. I am Brother
movies.
Lincoln.
I am Brother John.
Perfect. Nailed it. You can cut that together, right?
Yeah, I'll chop and screw it. in that kind of audio spaghetti, Preston, did you end up introducing yourself?
I did, yes.
Did you say who you are? Oh, okay,
great.
Wow, I missed that. That's amazing. So I don't know if you guys, I don't know if our listeners picked up on it, but everything dies and existence is futile because boys, friends, my little guys, my gnome gentlemen, this is the end of Twinkie Talk.
This is the end of the Twinkie Talk.
This is how the Twinketh talketh dies.
The Twinkies will no longer be talking.
The Twinkie shall talk no more.
No, they are silent. The Twinkies.
The Twinkies are silent. and we're very sad. We've been punished.
Deeply upset.
We've been made upset by all of our movie choices. We've truly faced some heinous cinematic punishment.
Oh yeah.
And so today we thought, we've been going through purgatory or maybe hell, and we're finally seeing the light of heaven. We're seeing the light of our good works finally coming to fruition, just like like prosperity gospel. So
yeah, that's right. That we fully subscribe to and believe in. Yes.
Please pay us if you want to be righteous.
Yeah.
God loves it when you give us money.
Also, Merry Christmas.
Oh, Oh, yeah. Also, this is a Christmas episode, so we thought we'd go easy on ourselves in the spirit of the holidays.
Yeah.
Decided to give ourselves a gift in memoriam of this podcast.
Yes.
And in the spirit of
The gift
Christmas.
is that this podcast is going to not happen anymore.
Really, we just wanted to pass this gift on to you, our listeners, as well.
Yeah. Well, and you know what's interesting about this particular choice of movie is it's sort of a murder mystery, and I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I think it might be wise to treat this episode as sort of a murder mystery of who went on ahead and killed Twinkie Talk.
Yeah. So write in, scan the QR code and send in your votes as the episode goes along.
Yeah. use the microchip that was implanted in you by Walmart, and it'll be good.
And vote with your mind.
Vote with your mind.
So are we supposed to be like dropping hints the whole time as to which one of us
We're supposed to
killed it?
We're trying to figure it out as well.
We're all trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
One of us was given a message earlier, right before it went on air, that we were in fact the murderer, and so
Right.
it's good. It's like, and Preston, so you need to read that little 3x5 card that Jonathan mailed to you. He mailed this 6 weeks ago. It's very
I know. Well, it
strange
took
that
a long time. I didn't know how I was going to feel about it. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you just take a read on that one, and then it'll let you know. And if we could all actually, real quick, if we could all just get a clean read for each of us, I'll start. I'm definitely not the killer.
I'm definitely not the killer. I love Dune so much.
See, now that's not good evidence, Preston. We need your
Preston,
line.
I'm beginning to suspect you.
We need you to.
I mean, wait, is this why we're the killer, or
No.
why we're not the killer?
No. Why? No, you just have to. We just need a clean line read of you saying I'm not the
Oh,
killer.
I'm not the killer.
Yeah,
That was good.
that's going to be for the stinger that we play during the Super Bowl. Sunsetting final episode. All secrets will be revealed.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it.
You don't want to miss it. All that kind of stuff.
All that good stuff. So we watched The Nice Guys. Shane Black's
we
The
did.
Nice Guys.
Boy, it's so good.
It's so good.
Very
It's
good.
arguably one of the better movies that exists.
It really is up there. It's humorous. It's heartfelt. It doesn't ever let the humor interfere with the sincerity of the movie.
Not once. It's
It has actual jokes.
it's
like
got great
jokes.
Interesting
It's got-
action where I think people might die.
And
The
people do.
performances are incredible. Pretty much all the performances are great. People actually do die. There's this. It also feels like a lived-in universe. Like it's a world that feels rich and varied, and that feels like kind of lots of stuff is going on in the world of the movie. Preston,
yeah.
you'd never seen it before, so
I have not
what
seen
was
it
your
before.
experience watching it for the first
I
time?
very much
This was
enjoyed
your
it.
first time?
It was great. No, I enjoyed it. And I feel like I went into it with like zero expectations or understanding or prior knowledge beyond the little 2-sentence Netflix blurb, which
Yeah.
I feel like made it even more enjoyable.
Yeah. I'm gonna be
That-
excited to keep listening to your experience of watching it as we talk through it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because I've seen this movie. I have logged this movie on Letterboxd 8 times now. And that means I've probably seen it around 15. This is not new territory for me.
This is the second time I watched it. The first time I watched it was with you, John.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great.
Was I not invited?
I think
No,
you
you
were
weren't in the state.
Oh,
you
that was
were
probably true.
out of planet.
You were out of this dimension.
You were in your astral form, I think. I think that's when that was.
So you might have seen the astral version of Nice Guys. It's not nearly as good.
It's pretty bad, actually.
I
Yeah.
see. I was there in spirit.
Yeah, it's directed by Phantom Shane Black.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a good
I was trying to sheet white.
sheet white. Yeah, I guess.
Is that anything? Shane translucent.
Shane. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's
It's like a
something.
texture kind of idea.
Yeah.
Shane Heavenly Blue. I don't know.
Sure.
Well, the debilitating thing is that what are we going to talk about? How are
I
we
know.
going
Or
to?
real. I don't know what to do. I don't know what we should do.
Yeah, there's no punishment involved with this.
Guys,
No,
we
so I
can't
think-
we can't do Find Your Funny. We're 6 minutes in. We can't do that.
We can't do Find Your Funny yet. So I think we should decide what we want to do. I think we should just start talking through the plot of the movie, and just as soon as we feel the faintest glimmer of the discussion forming, just yes and that bitch and chase it all the way down to the end,
Cool. I love that. That's a very good t-shirt for this dying podcast. Oh, speaking of
then-
which, we're about to launch our merch store for this podcast that's dying today, so that's exciting.
It's going to be open for 24 hours after the release of this episode. Actually, no, after the recording of this episode.
There
That's
we go.
right.
You
Yeah.
have
So
to just
get your yes and this bitch hoodies and t-shirts and various mugs as soon as you
hopefully
can.
you've already ordered your yes and this bitch t-shirts by the time
Oh yeah,
you're hearing
yeah.
this,
By the
'cause it
time you
won't
hear
exist.
this, yeah, you won't be able to get it anymore. Very
The
limited
store
run.
won't exist. I think something else we could do is we could each just talk about things that we loved about previous episodes. You know, because it's been going on so long.
Just blatantly ignore this movie.
No, just like we add them in as we go. Just like, guys, I want to talk about Killer Clowns from Outer Space really quick.
That's a good idea. If there's anything, this is our time. If there's anything left on the floor, on the table, that we haven't touched on in these movies, now is sort of the time to do that.
Yes.
Oh, like a missed connections.
Yeah.
I'll go digging
like
back through my notes and figure out what we never talked about and go from there. How's that sound?
You do that. That sounds good. I don't know. I feel like the plot of this movie is going to be a little less important than just things we like about the movie. So
I agree. Yeah.
I'm going to start us off with just saying, Lincoln, you were saying that like you feel like the world is super lived in. I feel like my favorite thing about this movie is that the characters feel like they had a life up to this point. Like, I love how many times random things will happen, like when Ryan Gosling's character is just afraid of bees for no reason. I think that's so great.
I didn't catch that the first time I watched it, but like when you hear him just talking about it's killer bees you got to watch out for.
Yeah, he's talking to the bartender. Killer bees you got to watch out for. Yeah, that's because they'll kill you. And he's like, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
And then it's like one of the last moments of the whole movie is he sees a bee and he just like flips out and it hits you at the same time. He's scared of bees.
The comedy,
yeah,
the
he has the dream.
Timing is so good. Visual comedy.
It's so solid.
It's just the comedy in general. So well done. So well done.
Absolutely.
Ryan Gosling's comedic sense is just so strong. There were so many times I laughed just like fully out loud by myself watching this movie.
Oh yeah.
When I guess we could talk about like just this is one little moment that I loved when he goes, you know who else was just following orders? Hitler. And he's constantly trying to make references to Nazi Germany. He can never like figure it out. He never gets it right.
I appreciate that it's like that, like at first it's just one throwaway line and then it turns into a recurring bit throughout the movie. And it's just so good.
I think something else that makes, I'd say, like a movie truly funny is like when it has really good physical comedy. And like we've all seen physical like Jim Carrey and like slapstick and stuff, but I love that this movie has some slapstick in it, but it also has so much like just little moments of physical comedy that are so, I don't know, they're just so strong. Like when Ryan Gosling's character's daughter says to Russell Crowe's character, hey, do you want a yoo-hoo? And he just like throws the apple away from him. Like just the shot of him turning around and chucking the apple is so funny.
Oh yeah. Well, and like I don't think there will ever be anything funnier than Ryan Gosling in that bathroom stall trying to like keep the door open and hold his pants up and hold his gun
in his mouth. So good. And they like let the joke live for like exactly long enough, just a little longer than you want it to, but then it rises over the hump and then they drop it. It's like the timing is perfect.
The timing
and the whole movie
so
is what,
good.
like an hour 55? It's like so
just
tight.
Under 2. Like there isn't a wasted second. I feel like the pace is perfect. You get little character moments here and there and some scenes where they're like slow it down for a second, but it's never so long that you kind of tune out of the movie. I also don't know that there's like a more quotable movie out there. Like the script for this thing is insanely funny and
are there any
solid.
other quotes that you want to mention?
I'm trying to think. Like I don't know. It could be a combination of delivery and the script, but I love when he comes up to when they come up to the protest group and he keeps being like, "This is her protest group." And he's like, "I hear that." And he's like, "I don't hear you hearing that. This is her protest group."
This is her protest group. So, but wait, how do you know that she's here? This is her protest group.
That whole scene, I mean, I love the bit too where it's, oh, we're dead. No, they're dead.
We're dead.
And then there's the random like dude reading the newspaper who just chimes in, no, they're dead.
They're dead. When he right before that scene, they're talking about, Ryan Gosling says to Russell Crowe, the point of closing your mouth is that you don't talk. And then Russell Crowe's like, except ventriloquists. Ryan Gosling goes, fuck those guys.
Yeah, I love when he's like, you can always see their mouth moving, and Russell Crowe's like, yeah, sometimes, and he's like, always.
Always. That's another thing that's so fun about this movie is just their like dumb conversations that they have with each other.
Oh, it's so
like,
good.
They're the two most chaotic people in completely different ways, and it's like the movie doesn't tell you that they are. You just have to kind of discover it for yourself.
Absolutely.
And it's like they do the whole like, you know, buddy cop routine, but it doesn't feel like it at all. Like it feels like way more natural and like casual almost.
Absolutely. Yeah, like these two guys just happen to run into each other's lives. Guys, I've been thinking about the pacifier quite a bit.
Oh yeah, great. This is a great time.
I was wondering if like, did he not come with a car? Does he not own a car? Because like there are situations where it would be helpful for him to use a faster, better car than the one that he currently is using, which is the minivan. And I get that it's funny that he's got the little like sticker on there, but this guy seems like he's like in the army. He's got enough. He seems successful enough to have the money for a car. Is he like on some? Is he on some like Jack Reacher shit? Like, does he just not have a home?
There's three incredibly easy solutions.
Okay.
To this apparent problem, John. And I'm going to explain this in the most like pandering, patronizing way possible.
Okay,
I'd also
thanks.
like to get in on this when you're done, Lincoln.
Oh yeah, just really ramp up the condescension.
Perfect. I would
Preston.
love to.
Cool. This is good. Thanks, my two dads.
Thanks, dad brothers.
Thanks, both of my dad brothers, my brother dads.
But not my uncle.
No.
Okay, son, brother, John.
You know what I just realized is that brother dad is the same as sister wife.
I hate
Well, it'd be
that.
brother husband, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, that's
now.
right.
Oh, that's okay. All right, we're good then.
Yeah. So anyway, tell me what you were gonna say, my brother husband dad.
Well, we can talk about the brother husband scenario later because I think that's a discussion we ought to have at this stage of our.
I
of our
completely agree. If we're gonna do Boy House, we have to have the discussion.
We have to have a brother husband vis-a-vis sleeping arrangements.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that beds are expensive. That's all I'm saying. You infer from that what you choose.
Okay, first of all, John, you have no clue where he actually lives. So they
Right.
could just send him somewhere so far from his car that it would have taken more than the 3 days he was there to get the car.
Okay. All right.
2, he might be Jack Reacher, doesn't even have an identity. They just call him like Vin. That's all they know. His VIN number, if you will, has been scraped off of his life.
Okay.
And
Well, I
3
don't think it's that one because they give him a name.
Oh, well, I don't remember it.
I don't either. It doesn't make it
So
not
maybe
true.
it works. Maybe they did it to us.
Whoa, they neuralized us.
Wow, they're good.
And the third option is that perhaps Vin Diesel, the man, the actor, has some sort
The
of
man, the
contract
myth, the actor.
that's like unless it is either a Fast and Furious or a XXX, I am not allowed. I'm not letting you get access to me driving fast car.
Why would
It's either muscle
would
car
he
or
do
minivan,
that?
and there is nothing in between for him.
Oh, I like that. There's the only movie so far that had the courage to check the other box on his rider.
All right, I can see that. I accept
I
it.
also provide another solution
Okay.
here. Why would he bring his own vehicle only to have a bunch of kids in there, essentially messing up his really
I'm
cool
not
muscle
saying-
car?
I'm not
Also,
saying he would
gas is
always use
expensive.
it. I'm saying,
If you were doing this job
yeah, but
It wasn't
again,
then.
he's
Definitely
a
want-
successful man.
to drive somebody else's car, so they're paying for the gas, I feel like that's like
Ooh.
that's a perk of the job.
He still had to pay for the gas, I assume.
Why would he?
What if she left it with a full tank?
Yeah,
He drove so
it's an
much.
expense.
Two-
Did he
expensive.
actually though?
He
Did he
drove
drive a
to
whole tank's
and
worth
He
of
was,
gas?
he was probably
He
being
drove to and
financially
fro.
responsible and saving his receipts so he could get reimbursed later.
He could still
was
do that with
writing it
his
all
car.
off.
That has nothing to
That
do
would have
with
been a
what
lot
car you're
harder.
driving.
It would have been a lot harder. It would have been a lot weird. Like,
Fine.
like if you're not driving the company car, it's like harder to get your gas receipts,
Yeah.
refunded.
Because of all the company cars I drive. Yep.
Yeah.
That's how
Both
I know
of both
that
of them.
this doesn't make sense to you because you've never had a company car to drive.
All right, we don't have to be like that about it.
Well,
there's no
Lincoln told me
reason
to dial up the pretension, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know, but just like I'm gonna. Okay, you guys keep talking about the nice guys. I'm gonna. Weep for
clearly
about,
you've never driven a fleet grade Toyota Camry before.
I'm gonna openly weep in the corner for a couple of
You've
minutes,
never just
and then I'll be back.
visited the motor pool for a Sunday drive.
Let's get back to nice guys.
I hate my British brother, husband, dads.
You're so welcome.
Oh no, we actually need to talk about brother husbands, don't
Can
we?
we talk about brother husbands? I feel like
Let's
that's
talk about
have
brother
to.
husbands.
I think we should.
We do.
This is
Preston.
so full.
Morally
to have
speaking.
to.
Do you want to wait a
he
little
did-
longer, or do you want to just down that right
He
now?
did
Well,
it.
think
He
about
did
it.
it. He
Also,
included a
Lincoln,
visual element.
I have a movie question. I have a movie that either you've seen and it's your favorite movie, or you've not seen and you absolutely should. But we can talk about that later.
No, this is a cool time to talk about that now. This is great.
Yeah, this
You've
is the
chosen
third layer of interruption to
the
bit.
perfect time.
This is great.
Go
this is
ahead,
very on
Preston.
brand.
What movie would Lincoln like?
Lincoln, have you seen Yesterday?
I have seen Yesterday, and I actually hate it.
Really?
All right.
That is
Yeah.
Why?
okay. John, have you seen Yesterday?
Well, because
I've
Okay,
seen
okay.
Yesterday.
Lincoln,
yeah.
why do you hate
this,
it?
This is the weird alternative
Yeah,
Beatles
yeah.
movie, right?
Yeah. Lincoln,
Yeah,
why do
yeah.
you hate it?
well, okay. One, I really like the Beatles, and so it's like, why would I pay? Well, I did pay money, but I was like, why did I pay money to just listen to someone else perform Beatles music when I could just put on Beatles music and listen to the Beatles perform Beatles music, which I really already know I like, and it's free because I already own all the music. So that's one. I don't really think that the songs were given any new context that made them especially compelling. Two, I don't really know if I think that the premise of the movie is like a very powerful idea. Like this, I learned that the original premise of the movie was that he was gonna gain access to all the Beatles song and everyone else would forget, and he wasn't successful still. And so the story of the movie was that he was gonna have to learn to be himself and learn to improve his own art instead of relying on the art of someone else. Which I think is better than just he uses the Beatles songs and achieves instant, immediate success. And I said 1 and 2 like I had a 3, but I don't.
You did.
Am I just breaking your world?
No, I'm just very surprised.
Your
Like,
Beatles friend didn't love the Beatles movie.
I was watching that movie and I was like, man, I think Lincoln would really like this movie, and I'm just surprised that you don't.
I will also vouch
But
for that. That does seem like a Lincoln
After
movie.
hearing your assessment of it, I should have known that you would be too pretentious about your Beatles music to enjoy that movie.
I was gonna say
I'm too much of a
the only
purist,
thing
yeah.
more Lincoln about than liking that movie is not liking it because of some pretentious reason.
Like I have this image of Lincoln standing up in the middle of the movie, throwing down his popcorn, leaving, going home, and opening his cabinet of all the Beatles albums on vinyl and putting one on the record player, and going, this is much better. I just have that great image in my head now.
That's Preston. That is so close to the truth of what happened. I didn't storm out of the movie, but I did in fact go home and put on Beatles music and just sit and listen to it and
Please tell
this
me
is it.
It was with vinyl on a record player. Please tell me.
It actually was that time.
Yes, that's incredible news.
Well, the other thing is there's Beatles movies that were made by the Beatles. And there's 3 of them. And the first one's quite good. And the second 2 are the absolute weirdest, worst movies you've ever
Lincoln,
seen.
We don't care about the Beatles movies.
Wow. Okay.
God.
Fine. Thank you. Thank you for the clarity, Preston.
I will say that quality level does mirror their exact music though. Really good. And then at some point it's like, oh, this is dog shit. This is
John.
bad.
What are you even talking about?
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds.
That song's amazing.
Dog shit. Song sucks.
What? That's one of the most well regarded. You picked a really no one complains about that song.
I know what I chose.
John,
You could have
Strawberry
said, Yellow
Fields.
Submarine.
Terrible.
What are you saying?
Horrible.
That song has 2 completely different takes, and they modulated the speed, and it happened to match the pitch, so the song actually switches songs halfway through, and you don't even hear it.
That doesn't
It's
make
amazing.
it a good song. That makes it an interesting thing that happened.
It's awesome. I love Strawberry Fields Forever. It's like my third favorite Beatles song.
This doesn't surprise me.
Well, now we know who killed the podcast. It was John, because he offended Lincoln.
Could have been
too much.
anybody. It could have been anyone.
Now, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is great. Lincoln hangs up, and that was the last we ever heard of him.
I'm like, wow, that's making me, I'm reeling. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is so good.
What about it? Nope. You know what? I changed my mind. Don't want to hear it.
Don't
That's
open that
all.
can of
It
worms.
sucks.
John, you've already opened it.
It sucks and it's not good.
Don't dump it out.
You know what is good though? Is The Nice Guys, and I think we can all agree on that. See, I can be a peacemaker too.
That's a pretty
Yeah.
nice movie.
It sure is, Dad.
One of us had to do it first.
One of
Preston,
us did not have
I didn't
to
know
do
that
it.
this new girlfriend of yours was pregnant, was with child. But
Hey, that's the weirdest
congratulations.
way that could have happened.
I jumped to step 3 of the bit. I didn't explain the other steps.
You saw a start, you saw a destination, and you went, well, why not just be at the destination then?
Yeah, we can get there so much quicker.
You fired up your bulldozer and just went for it.
That's so funny. Lincoln actually, he's got a side podcast called Lincoln Fires Up His Bulldozer, so that's important for us to kind of plug.
Lincoln fires up his
sunsetting this.
excavator.
Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, as we're sunsetting this podcast, we each have separate bespoke podcasts. Mine is,
Weirdly enough,
of
like
course,
the Beatles, we're all pursuing solo work.
It's called Blade Boner. Yeah, we all, just like the Beatles, actually, we got into drugs, and then our podcast just got bad, and then we all separated.
And it got really, really, really good, and then it broke up.
Yeah.
Are you not saying that Abbey Road is like one of the best albums of any music ever made?
Some of it's good.
Abbey Road was the last thing they ever made together.
And I said some of it's good. It doesn't...
But that's like the very end of their creative output. You said that they got bad. But that whole
as a
album's
general
great.
rule, maybe they got a little better at the end. Does that make you happy?
No, they produced. Okay.
Unlike this podcast, they got a little better at the end.
This is not a discussion I can have because you're talking some strong opinions.
Yeah.
And I love the Beatles, and I'm not going to let myself. It's like that thing where like you're arguing with someone and you're standing on a chair and they're on the floor. It's easier for them to pull the chair and then set you down than it is for you to pull them up and have them stand on the chair with you.
Yeah,
and gently
I agree.
embrace.
I'll try to get you on the chair, but you're just
No,
not.
I'm on the chair.
You're just
I'm
not
on the
there.
chair.
Well,
I'm the one on the chair.
I'm on a taller chair.
Well, I'm hanging from a fan in the ceiling. I'm holding a ceiling fan and trying to kick you with my legs.
Well, joke's on you. I'm on a taller chair in the floor above you, so you're just kicking at nothing, idiot.
Well, I'm going to take the high-speed elevator 6 floors above you and then throw a chair at you.
Well, I'm on the fucking roof in a taller chair. Taller than
Guess
I've
what?
ever sat on before.
I'm in a helicopter. I'm suspended in a chair from a helicopter.
Guess
and
what,
I'm
bitch?
swinging like a pendulum.
I'm in space, motherfucker. You can't get taller than space.
Hey, asshole, I'm in Space 2. Like the number 2, the sequel to Space. It's
Space
taller
2
and bigger.
sequel.
You know, another
Space 2, deck those halls.
Another joke that I really appreciate in The Nice Guys is when the
Oh.
dude with the blue face gets hit by the van, and you think, oh, who's in the van? Who's in the van? And then they run up to the van, and the van just sort of drives off. That was a quality
Yeah.
joke.
The van it's nobody.
Nobody.
That is quite good. I like Blueface Guy. We should talk about him for a second because he's what a fun way to have a striking creative villain that you will recognize immediately. I love that.
Yeah. He's like Two-Face, but he's Blueface.
Yeah. He looks like the Braveheart man and his whole scene where he's
yes.
throwing fish around. It's all quite good.
That's the famous scene where Braveheart Man throws fish around. I remember that animated series from the 80s.
Ironically-
Braveheart Man chucked fish.
Ironically, it's actually a cut scene from the original Braveheart is just him just flopping fish around at people. It's supposed to be in the middle of his big speech, they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
And actually, he doesn't get executed in the original cut. The fish just get taken away from him. They're like, please give us the fish back.
Yeah, they have a nice little meal.
Yeah. And they thought
it-
that wouldn't be a powerful enough message, so they
No.
decided to CGI the like dismemberment later.
Yeah, actually, the original movie just ended with Mel Gibson looking directly at the camera and saying, "Fish a man to fish, and he'll fish for fish." And then-
It was rated G and it was 25 minutes long. Post-production really did a number on that
it was
movie.
crazy the reshoots they did.
The reshoots of Fish Heart that eventually turned into Braveheart.
I really want Fish Heart to happen now. I'm not gonna lie.
Guys, is the last episode going to be the first funny one?
Oh, that's awesome. Man, I really wish I remembered more about Braveheart so I could talk more about
I have nothing to say about it. It was less effort for us to construct a whole entire different reality than it was to try to remember what happened in Braveheart.
to remember any plot points outside of him dying and saying a cool speech. And can I tell you guys a fun little secret about John?
Yeah.
Me saying that was Mel Gibson was kind of a shot in the dark. I'm not 100% sure that it was.
It was Mel Gibson. You're good.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
haven't
right.
seen that movie, and I know it's Mel Gibson.
Oh man. Well, we're about halfway through, and this is pretty exciting because for the first time ever, this podcast is sponsored on our last episode.
Wow.
That's great. Yeah.
So, if I've gotten some ad copy here. This is the first time. I'm gonna be a little rough. So, I've never read an ad before. So we're just gonna
What
take
a
it from the top.
courageous company to hire us to read an ad for the last episode of the
We didn't-
podcast.
we
No,
didn't
I
tell them
know.
it was
Yeah,
last
well-
one. This is
Well,
one of
I mean,
those,
we
Take
didn't, and
the
it's-
money and run sort of situations, Lincoln. I mean, this is why
this
we're-
is-
Twinkie
this
Talk
is
is
a-
getting
why
shut
we're
down by
doing
the
a
feds.
podcast. Because now that we've
This is a
gotten
10
the
episode
money,
deal.
we can run, and we don't have to keep doing it.
Yeah, these dumbasses paid up front
Yeah,
for some
exactly.
reason. I don't. Anyway, let me just read this ad copy real quick. This episode of Twinkie Talk is brought to you by the Committee of Concerned Parents Against Is It Cake videos. Are you tired of having to bite everything to prove to your child that it isn't made of cake? Do you see the look of mistrust in their eyes when you give them actual cake? It's time to stop lying to our children, the future generations. The CCPAI ICV is taking a stand against this fondant facade. The reign of confectionery terrors is coming to an end, and you can help burn it to the ground. Send in your donations to the PayPal account under the email isitcakeorisit-tyranny at cakevideosmustdie.org, or follow us on Instagram at fuckisitcake. And then they just said I should include a personal story. So I mean, you guys know this. I've talked about this off air quite a bit. But I lost all my teeth in a cake accident. So I saw.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at this tragedy.
Hey, come on! It's all
This
my
is
teeth,
serious.
Lincoln.
Lincoln, you
Literally-
know how long John was in therapy to get over this.
I
Lincoln,
know.
literally
I'm so sorry.
100% of my teeth.
I just
Every
have a
one of
question,
them.
John. I'm looking at the video chat right now. I'm going to pull up Preston and introduce a visual element. I'm watching
Okay.
a video chat, and
Yeah.
I see there are teeth in your mouth, and I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it cake?
Yeah, it's actually, first of all, fuck you for asking. Second of all, nom nom nom, it's definitely cake. But Lincoln, the listeners don't know that I did in fact see a video where they made a fire hydrant out of cake, and then just made some assumptions vis-a-vis general fire hydrant etiquette.
Yeah.
So yeah, I support
You
this
parked your car right next to it. You're like, it's just cake. I can park my
It's-
car next to a cake.
It's
no
cake
law.
time. It's time to eat. So yeah, I support this cause because it's important. The CCPAICV is really important to me, and I just want you guys to just send in your support. Yeah, it's worth it. So thanks for hearing us out.
I'm glad that our first sponsorship was for such a generous kind of mission oriented, community based organization like
I
that.
know.
Yeah,
we're only
no,
like
it's nice of
half
them. And-
selling out.
Yeah, well, and you wouldn't believe it, but we actually got $8 million just for reading that,
Crap.
that ad.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Is this some sort of like front for organized crime?
this is pretty
Did you do
exciting.
a lot of research into this sponsor, John?
I didn't do a whole ton of research. I just really supported their, No, and actually,
Are we going to be threatened into buying like fake paintings later as a way of moving the money
That
around?
is how they pay us.
I'm in fake
Yeah.
paintings. Yeah, they painted fake dollar bills. They said the real ones would come. I don't know what that means. So, yeah, and I'm looking at their Instagram right now, and it's actually it is just a picture of Danny DeVito eating cake. So I'm not sure.
Oh, that seems legit. I mean,
I don't
Well,
know.
let me check really quick to see if he's like a member of the organization.
Yeah, is he on? Is it K?
Danny
The CCPAICV
campaign I guess.
LLC, nonprofit.
Let me see. Change.org says Sam's Club needs to put Danny DeVito on my birthday cake.
Okay, well that's almost what we were talking about.
The Independent says okay. This one might be a little worrying for our prospects in terms of organized crime.
Okay.
If Danny DeVito is the leader, the independent.co.uk says March 27, 2019, Danny DeVito has no fear. And that's how he got this far.
That's a thinly veiled threat. I don't
We
love
really gotta
that.
be aware of who we're dealing with here.
Oh, that's concerning. If I'm being
A man with
honest.
no fear. He
Yeah.
could be a Green Lantern.
Shoot, he could be a Green Lantern or a mob boss, and I haven't realized the Venn diagram between those two is so close. It is imperceptibly different. It's just a circle. Yeah, because rings, like it's
Rings. Green, obsessed with green.
green obsession, rings from space, like it's all there.
Not fear. Mortal enemies with Sinestro. Famously played by Ryan Reynolds.
weakness is the color yellow. Like it's all there.
It keeps going. Is this just this like delicious, fresh feeling to like not have any sort of beholden to a particular idea?
This is nice.
We're just like
Decide
letting
that nothing matters and we can talk about anything.
about anything we want.
This is an incredibly nihilistic podcast.
Well, it is.
Oh, yeah.
This is the end. Guys, if we had thought about it, we should have watched the movie This Is the End. That would have made more sense because this is.
We should
in
have
fact,
watched
the end.
the end.
Damn.
We should have listened to the first like 8 seconds of the Skyfall song by Adele.
Yeah, we should have. Well, the first 8 seconds of dialogue, because that song has a pretty hefty kind of opener.
Oh, we got when singers sing, John, it's not called dialogue.
Yeah, John, it's not called
What's it
dialogue.
What's it called, Preston?
It's called the lyrics.
Oh, fuck
It's
it.
called the first verse.
Fuck, it actually is. Shit.
Dialogue. I love Freddie Mercury's dialogue when he discusses the nature of reality.
Oh man, I thought Preston wasn't gonna know because I didn't remember.
See, that's the thing that I really hate about the Beatles. You know, their dialogue is just terrible.
Their
dialogue is so weak.
sucks.
The dialogue is nothing like Wes Anderson. I want to talk about Wanted really quick.
Why wouldn't you?
And I want to talk about Wanted in the context of like Michael Bay as a director, and also the fact that it wasn't made by Michael Bay, but it like totally could have, but it would have been a lot worse if it was.
Like those Ninja Turtle movies.
Yeah. Like as bad as it was, which actually Wanted is not that bad.
No, you know, okay. If he had directed Wanted, I feel like the only thing that would have been better is the like around the people shots, the going
That shot
around
would have
doing a
been
bunch
better,
of that
yeah.
kind of stuff. I feel like that would have been helpful.
Yeah, probably. It would have felt a lot more anarchic as well, I think.
That's a word that we all know.
Like anarchy.
Definitely don't have to Google.
Anarchic.
Oh, well, it was easier than I thought it was going to be.
You saying anarchy makes me think of Anarchy 99, which ties in really well to one of the other videos.
It's so funny you say that.
Triple X, Xander Cage.
Did you have thoughts on that? Did you have an opinion on?
No. That was it. I just
Okay, John, I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's
Russell
up?
Crowe's character in The Nice Guys says marriage is buying a house for someone you hate.
I thought
you're
this
the only
would
one
come
that's
up
married.
at some point.
Is marriage buying a house for someone you hate? Did you hate her before you got married, or did it happen once you got married and then was
Well-
a house bought? Or
So here's the thing: is I'm not liquid enough to buy a house, so I'm not sure that I qualify under that. I will say my experience is not marriage is renting an apartment for someone you hate. So I would assume I think I can extrapolate that to feeling like marriage is not buying a house for somebody you hate. But also,
well, the problem is either Russell Crowe's character is wrong, or you're not actually married.
and see, now that's a fear I have every day when I wake up is that it never actually happened, and I've been imagining this whole thing.
Has Darcy
In
gotten
some
tired
sort
of you proposing over and over again, just in case?
The problem is it hasn't really been proposing anymore. It's just been like, hey, do you want to still be married or
We're
not?
married, right?
Yeah, every morning I wake up and I look her directly in the eyes and I go, "Are it's married still?" And she
You
says,
tilt your head and go,
"Yeah,
wife,
wife."
wife, like a dog who just heard the word bacon, just wife,
Huh?
wife.
I'm gonna just. I'm gonna.
I do appreciate it. That makes me there's another bit where there's some throwaway line about marriage being dumb, and there's a very specific shot of Russell Crowe's character looking directly at Ryan Gosling's character, and it's just another really funny gag
It is
that I
quite good.
appreciated.
Johnny Mnemonic. What if I like it?
What if you do? You know, I was listening to that episode recently, and I got
You
the
would,
sense that you
Lincoln.
did.
I kind of liked it. I kind of think it's almost a Dune scenario where like it's just a movie that I've done. There's just like a turning point when you do research on a movie and like learn interesting things about it, where like there's just a moment where you got to say, this isn't ironic anymore. This is just regular old love.
Yeah.
You know what I will say though?
So to hear you saying is that you rewatched
No,
Johnny
I
Mnemonic
actually haven't.
and realized that you had the same feelings as
What
when
I
you
actually-
watched Dune.
Well,
David
it's
Lynch's
even more
Dune.
disturbing than that. I haven't rewatched Johnny Mnemonic, and I kind of want to.
Oh no, you think about it, I bet.
But give that thing a second shot. You know, just try it out.
What if it's good again?
What if it's
good
actually
this
good?
time?
You know what I watched for the second time? I watched John Wick 2 days ago. That's a pretty good flick. I'd say it's better than John Wick 1.
I fully agree. It's better than John Wick 1.
Ooh.
I haven't seen 3 or 4 yet, though.
It goes
I disagree.
4, 2, 1, 3 for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
Really?
4 is the best one. I was thinking about
However-
Real Steel, and Lincoln, I didn't
Oh,
want to
I'm
say
on
it.
Real Steel.
I didn't want to say it when we recorded it. That's a fun movie. It's kind of dumb in some places, but that's a good time.
I kind of discovered that. I think the script is pretty rough, like the whole
Yeah.
way through.
For sure. But that's never
But the
been
visuals are like really well done.
I like a lot of movies that have a bad script. That's never stopped me in the past. I don't.
Yeah.
Hey Lincoln, is there a movie that you chose that you haven't?
That's a
decided
good
to
question.
like?
Are there any, actually, wait, hold on, hang on, because I'm going through the ones
Okay,
that
I did not
chose
like Blade
too.
Trinity. I still don't like Blade Trinity. I do like Johnny Mnemonic a lot. Well, maybe not a lot. I think what it is I like the idea of Johnny Mnemonic. I don't know
I
if
can
I
see
could
that.
really stand watching through it again.
You like the short
I
story.
love the short story. Maybe that's just like that goodwill is just extending to the movie. Yeah, so definitely Blade Trinity is one I still don't like. Real Steel is one I guess I realized I never hated all that much. And Dune is what I discovered that it made me love it watching it.
It is just occurring to me that I like all of the movies that I chose.
Let's go through each of our movies and see like who has the consistent hit rate of just we genuinely like it.
Oh, the group? It's
Of
not
each-
gonna.
yeah.
It's not gonna be me. But we started with Q the Winged Serpent for me, a movie
did
that
not love it.
I love
Hate
because
it.
it's so ridiculous. Then we got Constantine.
Real Steel. I got them all in order.
Oh, I haven't been
Oh,
ordered
you're
too. I
talking
was
about the
going.
movies that you've said?
I was going through mine, and then we'll go through yours, and then
Okay,
we'll go
yeah,
through
yeah.
Preston's. So my
I
next
like-
one was Constantine.
I don't hate Constantine.
I like Constantine.
I don't hate it.
It's well, okay. Here's the thing: like and love
also
are
don't
two
hate
very
it.
different things to me. Because like I enjoy all of the movies I picked. Would I say any of them are good? No.
No. But do you like them?
But do I enjoy them? Constantine, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Then we get to Pacifier, a movie that I do still enjoy. But I think that
I don't really like.
I fully accept that is mostly just watching it as a kid so much that I'm like nostalgic for this dog shit movie.
Yeah.
Then I had Killer Clowns. I love that
Killer
movie.
Clowns.
I have no shame. I love it. It's perfect. And then Hellboy.
I actually like Killer Clowns.
You do like Killer Clowns. Okay, good. And then Hellboy.
Well, I like
a
it as
movie
a
I also
comedy.
love.
I
Hate
think
it.
I don't think of it as like a so bad it's good movie. It's just a comedy. It's just a satire.
Just a solid comedy. And then Hellboy, which we all love. So let's see. We got Real Steel, a movie I like. Lincoln likes. Preston likes it.
I like it.
Then Blade Trinity, a movie I do not like.
Yeah, I do not like Blade Trinity.
Dune, a movie I do not like.
I really like it.
I dislike it, but
Okay.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
I will say that the
It's like
sets,
it's like a Constantine for me.
the sets and costume make it worth watching for sure. But I don't like it.
Okay. Then-
Johnny Mnemonic did very little for me.
And that was the last one.
Hate it.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
that is
now
your
let's
last
do-
one.
Let's do
It's like the
Preston
third
now.
worst
All right,
movie.
and
Triple X.
Preston's turn. Triple X, a movie that I adore. He
Love
chose
it.
Lincoln. Before we
Absolutely
go
love it.
through all these, we know who it's gonna be, right?
It's Preston.
Because,
Yeah, we all. I like already knew it was Preston.
yeah, because we know. Like every time he said one, we all went, "Who?"
Ooh.
Triple X, Wanted. I like it.
Wanted is just like it's like the only besides Nice Guys, but it's like just a good movie.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's not great, but
See, I think it's the same as like Dune for Lincoln,
except we all agree.
or like, no, it's the same
There
as
it
Real
is,
Steel
okay.
for Lincoln. Yeah, I thought I was gonna hate it a lot more
Yeah.
than.
Yeah,
It feels
yeah.
like a movie that I hate, but I don't.
And then you watch it, you're like, oh, this is kind of. It just leans into the right aspects of itself. It like knows what it wants to say.
I will say your next one, Cliffhanger.
Ooh,
I
that one was pretty
can't
rough.
say that I liked Cliffhanger.
Oh yeah. And then After Earth,
And then
which was
After
like
Earth.
levels of suffering that we had never
I
experienced
wasn't
before.
prepared.
I hate.
That was
After
rough.
That
Press-
so much.
I would feel confident
So,
saying
so,
you
so
have the
much.
highest highs and lowest lows of all the
Fully
selections.
agree.
I think
Perfect.
I'm maybe like slightly below middle, and John, you're slightly above middle in terms of how much we
mean-
like it.
Yeah, I would say.
But we're both encased by how much we love and how much we hate movies that Preston has
yeah.
selected.
Oh, for sure. Anyway, the Nice Guys.
Nice
I like
Guys.
the running theme that Ryan Gosling might be immortal. I think that's probably my favorite. Just like gag throughout the movie is the amount of times he
Yeah.
should have died.
I like that Russell Crowe's a better detective than Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah, like
Just like in
significantly.
every way imaginable. Like Russell Crowe's just like good at regular old detective work, and Ryan Gosling's terrible at it.
He's like good at occasionally falling into a thing that gives him some
Yeah.
information. Oh, I have a fun fact about this movie. Did you guys know that the guy who plays Sid Shattuck, the dead body, did you know that's Robert Downey Jr.?
No,
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
I need to go
No.
watch it again right
Yeah,
now.
it's so good.
I need to go watch the whole movie and know that that's Robert Downey Jr.
It's time to watch it again.
That is a great shot where he like lights the lighter and you just see the dead
Oh, it's
body
so
come out
good.
of the darkness,
It's
and then
so
his lighter
good.
goes out.
And his long take
That made me
freak out
very happy.
is so
Like-
funny.
Then he's like gesturing over to it. Ryan Gosling is so like he's just so. What would you say? He's like a big actor, exactly when he chooses to be.
Absolutely,
Like-
yeah.
Like he can act such big performances, such larger than life ideas, and then like just go right back into being a 100% real, extant human character.
Yeah. I feel
He's
like
a
that's
treasure.
That's why his Ken in the Barbie movie is the only one I think about and remember at any point, because all the other guys are just some guys and they only play the kind of dumb guy. But his his delivery of some of those lines is so blatantly like big and little at the same time. It's funny.
Yeah, he's just he's a talent. He's so good at his job.
He really is.
And I've seen him in straightforward comedy roles like Ken, and I've seen him in straightforward dramatic roles, and he's just like perfectly equal at home in both.
Oh yeah. You know what fucking pisses me off?
What pisses you off?
I hate when I Google something and Google's like, we got like 8 billion results in 0.49 seconds. Get off your high horse, fucking Google. You're not better than us, okay? You don't have to like brag about it every time you do the thing you're built to do. I just don't.
And what's the deal with airline food? And what's the deal with traffic on the freeway?
Here's the thing. This is not observational comedy. This is me being fucking pissed at a website because somebody who made the website was like, I just Googled the nice guys, and it says about 1.6 billion results in 0.49 seconds. I don't give a shit, Google. I couldn't care less. All right.
There is no way.
John,
oh, go ahead, Preston.
I have a theory here. I think that this frustration and hatred is just stemming from the fact that you Googled Blade's boner and there were not 8.3 million results.
It's not that because,
seconds.
again, can't stress this enough. This is a word computer, and I'm not going to Google the word boner on that. It's a little that, but okay. Like, here's the thing: do you ever Google something and it says like you got like 14 results, and you're like, wow, I'm in a niche here. Like I've found myself into a dark part of the web. That's a good feeling.
That's how I know what to write an essay about.
Yeah, it's like not a good feeling though when I Google a thing and Google's like, you're not fucking special for wanting to know about this.
1.6 billion people have written about nice guys. Literally 1/7 of the population of the earth has something to say about your interests, John.
And yet, you know what? We can't get a fucking sequel greenlit to save our lives. Anyway, so that's my opinion on Google. Also, actually, while we're at it, Google, if you're going to do these little like, oh, we're going to do little animations on our Google logo, make them things people can relate to, all right? Not just like random shit that you feel like might be important. I don't care if some like random photographer beat it the other day. Like I don't care if that doesn't matter to me. I just want it to be things that I can connect with, you know? And like the general populace can connect with. Just like I'm not asking it to be like a Q the Winged Serpent related Google. Nobody's asking for that.
I think that's precisely what you're asking.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking for something that everyone can relate to. Like, hey, most of us saw Avatar because it made like $2.8 billion. So like, put some Avatar shit on there. That's fine because we all saw Avatar.
Okay, wait. I need to break this down, John. So your two complaints about Google is one, they show me so many results it doesn't make me feel like I'm special.
That's not my problem.
And two,
my problem is that they tell me that I'm not special. The problem is that they tell me how many results, and then in little parentheses they go, and look how fast we did it. I don't
look
care.
how easy it was. Okay, so that's your first complaint, is that Google tells you you're not special by giving you a broad range of results. And your second complaint is Google does not make me feel like I belong in a large generic place by recognizing my common interests I share. In their animations.
Yeah, that's pretty much. No, it's two separate thoughts. Lincoln, it's two separate thoughts that I'm having, okay? Because one of them is like, I want Google, when they're doing their big, animation thing, I want that, because the thing that makes me angry is not that I don't know who or what the animation is. The thing that makes me angry is that you spend all this time and money on an animation that won't mean anything to anybody, and they'll just be like, oh, that's weird, there's an old lady on Google right now. That's not, like, that doesn't help us. You know what does help us? Rubik's cubes. We all know about Rubik's cubes.
And I want to solve one. If I need to Google something, it's just like solve a quick Rubik. You know that the puzzles should take place before the search happens.
That's a good idea.
You cannot search until you solve this Rubik's cube, until you assemble these letters in order. Like,
I would love like a barrier to entry.
Fill out this quick Sudoku. You know, that should be in terms of social media, just to make sure you're in the right headspace. It's like, take 5 deep breaths and then decide whether or not you're going to post this. Like,
That's a really good
idea. That feels
idea.
nice.
Actually, there should be like a quiz, and it shows like the Little Mermaid reboot, and it says woke ? And like whatever you hit depends. Maybe you can, maybe you can't get on Instagram that day. You know, like it just depends.
So it's like if you it has a bunch of things, and woke is like interspersed throughout the questions, and if you click the word woke even once, it's like, nope, sorry.
It's like, sorry, you can't get in there. You know,
the other 3 answers were fine. Woke was the wrong answer. Stop complaining about it.
If there were puzzles for Google, and I had to take like a smart boy test to get into Google, and then Google was like, hey, here's how many people succeeded the smart boy test. That would be a stat that I would be interested in knowing.
I love the idea of saying, before you can access the resource you need to make yourself smarter, prove your intelligence.
Prove you're smart enough
quick.
for this. Yeah, but Lincoln, are people using it to make themselves smarter? I don't think so.
No, they're just using it to learn about Batman, probably. It's the only name I could come up with in a reasonable amount of time.
Anyway, man, this is freeing. I got a lot of dirty laundry to air out, actually.
Yeah, apparently you do. Let's talk about I don't even want to think about Hellboy anymore.
You guys want to talk about John Boy from this movie?
John Boy?
No, from the movie.
John Boy. John Boy, I always think it's Henry Cavill, but it's not.
Every time it's like, oh, Henry. No, never mind.
Oh, it's not Henry Cavill.
I do.
John Boy's funny.
I do love the joke though, where they're talking about John Boy, and they're like, from the Waltons, and he goes like, no, it's a different guy. And then Ryan Gosling is like, well, I mean, we think we assume.
And then they cut later, and the doctor's friend's on the phone like, no, not from the Waltons, like explaining the same thing. This movie, The Nice Guys, has such a good sense of like setup and payoff throughout. Like it's so intelligent. There's not anything that's said out loud that doesn't become part of something bigger later.
I can't believe we haven't talked about it, but like the Nixon thing.
Oh, the Nixon thing is so good.
It's so funny.
It's another one of their like dumb random conversations. And then Ryan Gosling's like, so your point is people have different opinions. Yeah, people have different opinions. And you took us on this epic fucking journey.
Yeah, so just say that. For the first time ever, I can actually say, what a good movie. We actually watched a good movie.
We did. We watched a great movie.
We did.
I think we've done it. Let's talk about this movie was the equivalent reward to...
Oh.
The cinematic blessing.
You know, Preston, you inspired this one. This is the cinematic equivalent of eating just a delicious toasted sandwich for lunch. And it's not, you don't eat too much of it. You like stop exactly when you need to and you feel full, but you don't feel sick. And the sandwich had the nice combination of crunch and softness and cheese and liquid and dry. And it just like, it all goes down so smoothly and you feel fresh, you feel awake, you feel alive afterwards.
You know, I feel like this movie is the cinematic equivalent of ordering a burger and fries, and then you get it, and it's like a burger and fries, and then they just had a bunch of extra fries, so they threw a bunch of fries in there, and you're like, wow, this is better than I thought it was going to be. This is great. And some onion rings, yeah, and a little ranch.
This movie is a cinematic equivalent to when you turn on a song in your car, and you just like turn on the radio, and it's just like the right song for the moment, and you can just like, you just groove, and then you feel the compulsion to roll the windows down.
This movie is the cinematic equivalent of what I can only assume the feeling is when you show your two closest friends the movie Hellboy that you love so much, and they also love it.
This is what it would have felt like.
Yeah, this is all hypothetical. I assume that's what this would be.
This movie is the cinematic equivalent of forcing two of your friends to watch an absolutely dog shit movie.
For you, not for your friends. Okay, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
for you, yes.
This movie is the cinematic equivalent of being at the top of a mountain overlooking something more beautiful than you could ever imagine, and just all you can do is breathe.
And you have a fireball shooter with you.
And you're fucking slammed.
That's going in the highlight reel right there.
You're fucking slammed.
Okay, I think we got it.
Wow. Well, thank you everyone who has listened to Twinkie Talk.
Plot twist, I killed Twinkie Talk.
It was actually Lincoln. It was actually Lincoln's Beatles record. Lincoln with
My
the
Beatles
Beatles record in
I
the
smashed
library.
it in pieces. And then
Yeah.
in my grief, I shredded Twinkie Talk into pieces the same
killed
way.
Twinkie Talk. Thank you, all 8 of you who have ever listened to Twinkie Talk. 5
You've
of which
been-
are not us. We really
5
appreciate
of-
you.
Thank you for highlighting us in the blogosphere. Thank you for, just lighting up Twitter whenever a new episode came out.
Yeah, for liking all the stories.
Thank you for getting us our first and
Yeah,
last
those
sponsor.
$8 million are going to go a pretty long way. I'm not going to lie to you.
There's gonna be a lot of Cancun trips. that's all I'll say.
One big Cancun trip for me, but I understand.
And several very small Cancun trips for me and Preston.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. It's time to, everybody, if you would all have just one more moment of silence for Vin Diesel. Everybody stand and just read your own copy of Fueled for Success. And then
I really want vindication to happen.
we should. We're gonna do the Vineyard someday. But for now, we're just gonna put Twinkie Talk to rest. So what a beautiful time.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's that time again, folks. Time for the world-famous motion picture Retribution Power Hour, presented to you by the illustrious Evening Brothers. Take it away, band.
So now Twinkie Talk is good and dead. We've
Twinkie Talk
spit
is
on
dead.
its grave.
It's 6 feet under. Covered it.
We're dancing.
Covered it.
Good riddance.
Welcome everybody to the
Welcome.
Motion Picture Retribution Power Hour.
Yes, MPRPH.
PRPH, baby. Start a hashtag. What are we promising?
What are we promising? Better brand identity. You can tell people about the name of this podcast and they will know what it means.
It's not what you think it is. The other one.
A great, cool acronym, MPRPH.
It's a
Both
great.
of you say it.
Great acronym. MPRPH. Yeah.
It feels so
MPRPH.
nice. Rolls right off the tongue.
New logos.
MPRPH.
New logos.
What?
Maybe a T-shirt. Something.
New logos, maybe a t-shirt. Better opportunities for branding.
Please
Next,
please fucking share this podcast. I swear to God, please.
Cohesion.
Somebody.
thematic cohesion. We're gonna have better structure. We're gonna be tighter.
We're gonna be tighter and looser in all the right ways, baby.
in all the right places.
Just how you like it. We're tight in the right places and loose in the right ones.
Loose in also the right places. We got them all sorted out. Vis-a-vis tightness and looseness.
We're still gonna be talking about bad movies. We're still making each other watch terrible films and maybe the occasional good one. But let's be honest, this didn't go great, so probably not.
And we're gonna do homework as well. Still,
Homework continues.
fun.
It's the same classic
Homework
podcast.
continues. Find
Our funny will never die.
new look, same great taste.
Yeah.
We're still gonna spin off into different podcasts every couple episodes and
Hey,
never
Link.
make the spin-offs.
Hey, Lincoln, can you not, in reference to us, say same great taste again? Is that possible?
I make no promises.
So that's our new podcast. There's going to be a new intro, a new outro if we ever did an outro. And
Oh yeah, there's an outro.
what's up?
There's an outro for this podcast. There's
Didn't
an
know
outro
that.
for Twinkie Talk.
Hey, we're not actually in Twinkie Talk right now. The podcast
I'm
that
sorry.
can't be named.
Sorry.
We're sort of in the
Sorry.
in the middle ground before we actually start the other one. So Lincoln, so brother Lincoln, I had the honor of starting the podcast that we just murdered straight to death.
Yep.
So it is now your turn, and then eventually, I'm sure when we rebrand this podcast, Preston will get a chance to start his own.
So the inaugural MPRPH. I've had one in mind for a long time, and that movie was Underworld.
Okay.
And it's a great movie about a secret society of vampires. It's really cheesy. It's got Kate Beckinsale. It's like lots of gun action, lots of Matrix inspired costuming and stylistics and visuals and stuff. And then John, you made me watch Hellboy, and Preston,
Oh,
you
no.
made me watch After Earth.
What did I do? What did
And
we
so
do?
instead of watching Underworld,
Uh-huh.
we are going to watch another movie about a secret society of vampires.
Okay.
We're gonna watch Twilight, the first one.
Oh, you
No.
motherfucker.
And your homework
No!
is to
Lincoln?
your homework is to find. Yes, Preston.
You know. Thank you very much for listening to the Motion Picture Retribution Power Hour. This was the first and only episode. Lincoln
Sorry
has
it died.
killed
Lincoln
the
killed 2
podcast.
podcasts in one day. It's been very productive for him. All right, our homework for Twilight.
And your homework.
You know what?
Preston's actually
sorry,
mad.
Lincoln, is this in revenge for us saying that we enjoyed the movie yesterday and thought that you would enjoy
No.
it as well?
I made it very clear what this is revenge for.
Is this in revenge for us somehow slighting the Beatles in your eyes?
Hey, Preston, can you go ahead and quickly say the title of our fucking podcast real quick?
The Motion Picture Retribution Power Hour.
So I think you got your answer right there.
I do.
If you're asking if this is revenge, then yes. The answer is yes, no matter what the source of the revenge is.
I
or
know
the
that
cause.
this is the first time we've ever done a motion picture retribution power hour, but boy,
Damn.
I don't think we've ever faced this kind of pushback on one of
No.
the movies.
Clearly,
It happened.
This is
Because I didn't pick a boy movie.
clearly,
That's
Twinkie Talk
the
was the
central
fun,
problem.
lighthearted version. Now we've all grown up. We turned nihilistic in this last
Yeah.
episode.
Lincoln.
We're just going
I
straight
had
to
a theory
hell.
on what you were gonna choose for this, and I was wrong. And you hit such a left turn. I was so unprepared.
What did you think I was going to choose?
Oh, I thought you were gonna choose the movie I'm gonna choose next time. So, I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh, yes. Your homework.
Homework.
Your homework is to... Okay.
I will not be reading
Yeah,
Twilight.
wait, hold
No,
on.
it's not to read
It
Twilight.
can't be
no,
the
it's
whole
not.
book,
It's
right?
not I would never make you read a book. I am going
Well,
to,
you're
in
making
fact,
us
ask
watch
you,
this movie, so hold on. Don't say never.
Your homework is to Google the phrase Twilight fan fiction and just let the spirit lead you and just find something to present.
Are you suggesting? Okay, so we each have to bring a little something to kind of
Yeah.
wet the whistle.
And the only yeah, you can do it after you watch a movie or before, I don't care.
Cool.
But the only requirement is that during this podcast, you have when this podcast happens, you have already searched Twilight fan fiction and clicked into a couple websites,
And-
clicked in and out,
And we have
you
to.
know.
I was thinking that with the start of a new podcast, I could turn over a new leaf and make sure I did the homework every single time. And suddenly, I don't know if that new
We're
Well, here's
turning
the beautiful
over
thing,
a
Preston.
new, grungier, worse leaf.
Worse. We're doing it in a stupid, way worse. I can't make the joke funnier. That was great. Well, Preston, the beauty of this homework is that if you don't do it, we can just sit and wait and watch you do it live on the air.
Which might arguably be
Oh,
funnier.
even better.
Watching Preston just kind of skim through Twilight fan fiction.
And we're just going to wait patiently until you find something worth mentioning to us.
Yeah, to be like, does this one have the word throbbing in it? Because if it does, I can't read it.
So Preston,
I mean, it won't be any worse than John having to show us a
Oh
picture
man,
of Blade's
it can
boner.
get so much worse. Also, Lincoln, here's the thing. Before, I didn't want you to cut it out. Now I do, because I like the idea of that being the first reference.
since the actual time that it happened. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll do that. Wait, which podcast do we outro now?
No, we killed Twinkie Talk. Twinkie Talk is in the ground. At this point, if we outro Twinkie Talk, it would be... So that doesn't...
The podcast formerly
Yeah.
known, or now known as the Motion Picture
Yeah.
Retribution
Oh, it feels
Power
so
Hour.
good to say, doesn't it?
It's so good. Guys, it's so good. Guys, please, we've already changed the art. The title's different. Send this episode out to somebody you
Yeah,
love.
give it to your friend. Give it to your lover.
Rate us on
Play
Spotify.
this while you make love.
Don't do that, please. I'm actually begging you to not do that, because if we get an email at some point that says, "Hey, you got me off," I think I'll have to kill myself. I think.
Okay, if it does happen, what we want is an email with a single character in the subject line and a single character in the body, which is just a thumbs up emoji. That's all we need to know. That's all we ask for.
No. Actually, a thumbs up emoji and a timestamp, because I want to know when it happened.
Timestamp. 2 timestamps. One Well, no. The timestamp is the timestamp of this of the episode. Like how many minutes and seconds we were into an episode.
Into the episode that
MPRPH.
you completed your task. You sealed the deal. Well, this
Guys,
has
I'm
been
feeling so good.
This has been the first 8 minutes of the Motion Picture Retribution Power Hour. I have been your illustrious brother John, and I don't really have a reference yet because we haven't watched any movies.
We're gonna full reset this one. Thank you so much for listening to MPRPH. I have been the venerated Brother Lincoln.
And that's the horny brother Preston. Bye.
And thank you very much for listening to the NPRPH. I have been the exalted
Okay.
Brother Preston.
Ooh.
My reference is fuck you, Lincoln, for making us watch Twilight.